important for you to know that natural numbers can be prime numbers or not prime numbers, but a prime number is a number divisible by 1 and 2. Sorry, by 1 in itself only. And looking at those choices, choice A is the complete answer. Choice B is incomplete because it doesn't have a 5. Please make sure you subscribe, like, and share. Make sure you also drop a comment in the chat section there, tagging where you are following us live from, and even mentioning the name of your math teacher. Question number 2. A learner wrote the following numbers on a chart. Which of the following numbers is divisible by 6? You've learned about the divisibility test of numbers. When do you say a number is divisible by 6? A number is divisible by 6 if it is divisible by both 2 and 3. Looking at choice D is not divisible by 2 because if it could have been divisible by 2, the last digit here could have been an even number. So we rule out choice number D. All A, B, and C are divisible by 2. And because they are divisible by 2, then we have to take, no, choice B is not also divisible by 2. So we rule it out. We are left with A and C being the probable options. What do we do at that stage, learners? We also now need to test divisibility test for 3. When you look at this number here, when you do the confirmation, I want to be very particular here. I want to be very particular between A and B. So between A and C, which number is divisible by 6? Which number is divisible by 6? You realize the correct answer is C for cat. This one, no. The correct answer here is C for cat, learners. C for cat. Now we look at question number 3 of our discussion. A metal table is 108 years old, while a wooden table is 76 years old. 76 years old. Find the GCD of 108 and 76. Learners, remember, what are they wanting? The GCD. They want the GCD, learners. So you need to apply the principle of getting the GCD. You all know that if I want to get the GCD of 76 and 108, I have to look for numbers that can go to both of them. The first number is a 2. The first number here is a 2. 2 into, now we go 2 into 36. How many times? That is 18 times. 2 here is 54. Again, 2 can be going. 2 into 18, 9. 2 here is 27. Again, the number that can go into both is 3. 3 here, 3. 3 here, 9. Again, 3, 1, 3. So, our GCD is 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. That is just a moment. Let me see my working. 76 and 108. 76. Just a moment. And 108. Oh my God. I think I missed here. Two was going to 76 38 times. I wrote 18 instead of 38. 2 goes here 38 times. Another number here should be 2. This is 19, 27. Then we don't have any other number. So our GCD is given by 2 times 2. Our GCD is given by 2 times 2. So that makes it to be a 4. A for apple. Remember, they wanted the GCD. A hiker is at an elevation of 120 meters above the sea level if they descend 150 meters. If they descend 150 meters, what is their new elevation? Remember, learners, this is like saying 120 minus 150. So this becomes negative 30 meters. Negative 30 meters. So looking at your choices, it is A for apple. Remember to consider the sign of the number. Very, very important. Question number 5. Grade 8 learners were discussing about integers. They came across the numbers 10, 40, negative 25, and 9.0. Which one of the following numbers above was not in the list of the integers? Remember, when you talk about integers, they must be whole numbers. Decimals and fractions are not whole numbers. And when you look at this, the odd one out here is 9.0 because 9.0 is a decimal number and it cannot make to be an integer. So the odd one out is D for dog. Question number 6. Mudhoni, Mwangi, and Jane shared 36 hectares of land in the ratio 3:2:4. How much land did Mwangi get? First, let's get the total ratio. How do you get the total ratio? You take 3 plus 2 plus 4, that is 9. So Mwangi had, to get what ratio, what Mwangi had, it is 2 over the total ratio 9 times 36. This is going to be 8. This is going to be 8. That is B for boy should be your answer. Question number 7. During a mathematical lesson, the teacher wrote the number 0.00038,709. What was the number correct to 4 significant figures? Learners, remember, they are saying correct to 4 significant figures. A key point to note that zeros at the beginning of a number are not significant. Zeros at the beginning of a number, learners, are not significant. In that case, we are now going to have to 4 significant figures. It will now be 0.000. All those are not significant. The first significant number here will be 3. The second significant number here is going to be 8. The third significant number will be 7. And this 0 here, because it is found when a 0 is in between 2 and 0 digits, then that 0 becomes significant. Then the fourth significant digit here will be 0. The fourth significant digit there will be a 0. I want you to take note that when you are writing significant figures, you don't round off. When you are writing significant figures, learners, there is no rounding off. There is a slight difference between the two. There is a slight difference, learners, between the two. So after we found that is our answer, we now go and look at it. What is the most appropriate answer? It is D for dog. D for dog. Don't consider this. This is rounding off, not writing it in significant way. Just a moment. Do we round off or we don't round off, learners? A key point also to note there. Do we round off or we don't round off? It's a good question I want also to ask. Do we round off in that case or we don't round off, learners? Let me just fix my technical issue from my end. Do we round off or we don't round off, learners? It's a point I want us to agree on. It's a point we round. It's a point I want we all agree on. Remember, this question is during a math lesson, learners wrote the number. Then the question we are being asked is that what is the number correct to four significant figures? What is the number correct to four significant figures, learners? A very, very good question. I'm waiting for you people to drop your arguments in the chat section because I like involving my learners in such discussions. I like involving my learners in such discussions. Remember, we've begun our discussion by saying that, remember, maybe, remember how we began our discussion. Remember how we began our discussion that a zero before a number is not significant. A zero before a number is not significant. But when a zero, learners, appears in between two non-zero digits, then that zero becomes significant. That zero becomes significant. When it appears between two non-zero digits, then it becomes significant. Then it becomes significant. Then it becomes significant, learners. It becomes significant. Looking at that question number 7, learners, obvious, we cannot have choice A as the answer because this one is to one significant figure. So we cannot have this. We cannot have this one also because this one is to two significant figures. We are left with choice number C and choice number D. Looking at that case, remember that I said when 0 is in between two non-zero digits, then the 0 becomes significant. The 0 becomes significant. The first significant digit we all agree is 3. The second significant digit here, so let's write it. This is obviously 0.000. Those zeros are not significant because they are at the beginning of the number. The first significant digit here is 3. The second significant digit is 8. The third significant digit is a 7. Then the fourth should be this 1. But you look at the digit on its right. When you look at the digit on its right, it is greater than 5. It is greater than 5. If it is greater than 5, if it is 5 or greater than 5, it will increase this one here by 1, then it disappears. Then that makes it as 1 at the end. Looking at our choices, the correct choice is C for cat. The correct choice is C for cat. C for cat. Remember to round it off to 4 dps. Okay, let's look at question number 8. Grade 8 learners were given an inequality below by their math teacher. An inequality below by their math teacher. They have negative 4x minus 7 is less than 9. Then they are told what is the solution to the given set. So you collect the like terms. Negative 7 closest to the right and will become positive 7. Here I'll be left with negative 4x being less than 9 plus 7. So this is going to become negative 4x will be less than 16. I want to get the value of x. Therefore, I'm going to divide by negative 4 by negative 4. Dear learners, remember, when you're dividing through by a negative number, the inequality symbol changes. So negative 4, negative 4 will cancel. I'll be left with the x. Initially, the symbol was less than. Now the symbol will change into a greater than. 16 divided by negative 4 will become negative 4. So the answer should be x is now greater than negative 4. Looking at our choices. Looking at our choices, learners. Where is x greater than negative 4? In fact, we don't have the correct choice here. The correct choice should be x is greater than negative 4. This is the most correct answer. So in that question, they had not provided the correct answer based on their choices. And now I look at question number 9. Question number 9 that says, find the value of x in the following equation. You've been given that as your equation. So when you look at it, you have x over 3. This can be equal to 3 over 7 minus 1. So this will become x over 3 being equal to, when you have 3 over 7, you less 1, what do you get? Negative 4 over 7. This is like saying negative 4 over 7. I want to get the value of x. I will multiply here by 3. I also multiply here by 3. 3 and 3 cancels. So this is going to give me x will be equal to negative 12 over 7. Negative 12 over 7. Negative 12 over 7. Negative 12 over 7 is going to be our answer. Looking at our choices, so this negative 12 over 7, so the correct value can be written as x being equal to negative 1 whole number 5 over 7. Alternatively, how could you have approached this question? You could have removed this denominator by multiplying by the LCM of 3 and 7. The LCM is 21, so you could have taken 21 times x over 3 plus 1 times the LCM, which is 21, should be equal to 3 over 7 times 21. This could have become 7x plus 21 being equal to this one here is 3. 3 times 3, this is 9. That is 9. That is 9. Then when you are here, learners, you have to look at it as, when this crosses there, I'll have 7x being equals to negative 12, meaning x will be equals to negative 12 over 7, which still becomes negative 1 whole number 5 over 7. So also in that case, you can see we did not have the correct answer in the choices given. Question number 10. Excuse me for that. Question number 10. Grade 9 learners were given the matrix below. What is the order of the matrix? How do you state the order of the matrix? You give the number of rows, row number 1, that's row 1, row 2. So it is the number of rows are 2. Then columns, we have this as column 1, column 2, column 3. So that times the number of columns, which is 3. So this is a 2 by 3 matrix. A 2 by 3 matrix. Looking at the choices, it is D for dog. Remember, it should be the number of rows and the number of columns. If the Ndugu's playing field is in the shape drawn below, what is the area? What is the area of this figure? When you look at it, it is a parallelogram. They are asking about the area. For you to compute the area of this parallelogram, it is simply the area is simply given by base length times perpendicular height. Our base length here is 15 times the perpendicular height, which is 8. When you multiply this is going to give you 120 square meters. Then back into your choices. Choice B for boy is the one that is correct. Question number 12. The temperature of a room is 8 degrees Celsius at 4 p.m. and it drops by, underline the term by, it drops by 14 degrees Celsius by 2 p.m. What was the temperature? Sorry, by 2 a.m. What was the temperature at 2 a.m.? Now they are saying it drops by. So the new temperature will be obtained by taking 8 minus 14. This will be negative 6 degrees Celsius. Negative 6 degrees Celsius. Back to the choices. A for apple is the most correct answer. Question number 13. Mutua drives his car from his hometown to his home. If he is taking 20 seconds in 600 meters, what was its speed in kilometers per hour? First of all, let's get speed. How do you calculate speed? Speed is given by distance, that is 600, divided by time, which is 20. When you divide that, this is going to give you 30 meters per second. It's also among the options, but remember we've been told the speed in kilometers per hour. So you have to change the speed to kilometers per hour. How do you change meters per second to kilometers per hour? Take your speed in meters per second, that is 30, then multiply it by 18 over 5. Multiply that speed by 18 over 5. So I'll have 30 times 18 over 5. 30 times 18 over 5, learners. So what are you going to get in that case? The answer is 108 kilometers per hour. 108 kilometers per hour. That makes choice C for cat the most appropriate answer. Allow I look at question number 14. The diagram below represents a model of a cylinder made by grade 8 learners with a diameter of 14 centimeters and a height of 6 centimeters. Find the volume. How do you get the volume of a cylinder, learners? The volume of a cylinder is given by pi r squared h. Our pi will be 22 over 7 times the radius of the cylinder. If the diameter is 14, the radius will be 7 squared times the height. You've been told that the height is 6. That's the formula you are going to use. Remember, you are free to use your calculator. So this is going to be 22 over 7 times 7 squared times 6. This is giving me 924. 924. Because it is volume, so it should be cubic centimeters. Looking at our choices, we have two 924s. This one is squared. So this one is wrong because it refers to area. But this one is correct because it is cubic. So that is volume. You be very, very keen with the unit, learners. Be very, very keen with the unit. Allow I look at question number 15 of our discussion now. Question number 15. We are there. The question is, Juma invested 35,000 in a bank which paid 12% per annum simple interest. Calculate his total savings after the 3 years. You are supposed to calculate his total savings after the 3 years, learners. Therefore, you need to know that simple interest is given by principal times rate over 100 times time. So our principal is the money deposited or the money invested or withdrawn. So our principal here is going to be 35,000. We'll have here 35,000 times the rate. The rate is 12 over 100 times the time, which is 3 years. So when you calculate that, your interest I will be equal to, be very, very keen, that is 35,000 times 12 over 100 times 3 times 3. That is giving me 12,600. My interest is now 12,600. That is just the interest and on top of the money I invested in the bank. So when they want the total savings after the 3 years, total savings. Remember, I had put my money in the bank so that I save my money. So now my total savings, they are simply referring to amount. And amount is given by principal plus interest. So my principal is 35,000 plus the interest of 12,600. What are you going to get when you add 35,000 to your interest? 47,600. So that is the total savings after 3 years in my account. That's the amount of money I'll have saved. So choice is B for boy. That is correct. The following figure shows the net of a solid. Identify the solid that can be made from the net. You can see we have the rectangular part. This is going to form the curved surface area. Then you have a circle at the top, a circle at the bottom. This should be a cylinder. That should be a cylinder. Question number 17. A cube measures 6 by 6 by 6 centimeters. The cube is open at the top. Calculate the surface area of the outer surfaces of the cube. Remember, learners, when you talk about a cube, like that, a cube has all sides equal. But now it's open at this top, meaning it has how many faces? Instead of having 6 faces, it now has 5 faces. So the area of one face is given because it is 6, 6, 6. The area of one face is 6 times 6. This will be 36. But because now it has 5 faces, because one is already open, I multiply this by 5. 5 by 6 is 30, 0 carry 3. 5 by 3 is 15 plus 3, that is 18. So 180 should be the answer. 180 should be the answer there. Question number 18. A rectangle measures 6 centimeters by 8 centimeters. What is the length of the diagonal in centimeters? Learners, is good to give a sketch for better understanding. The length is 8, the width is 6, the one this side, so that is a Pythagoras theorem because this is 90 degrees. Remember, 6 squared plus 8 squared should give me c squared, which is the hypotenuse. 6 squared plus 8 squared, that is 36, plus 64, that's 100. So c squared here will be equal to 100. So the value of c will be given as the square root of 100. So c will be equal to 10 centimeters. C will be equal to 10 centimeters when you follow the rules of the Pythagoras theorem. And now I look at question number 19. What is the difference between the largest and the smallest angle in the figure below? They want the difference between the largest and the smallest angle in the figure below. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share if you find this channel helpful to you. You know that this is a triangle, and one property you know is that angles inside a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So when I take 16x plus this angle here, which when I open this will be 12x minus 15. So plus 12x minus 15. This one when I open this will be 10x plus 5. So plus 10x plus 5. This should give me 180. When you collect the like terms, that is, I'll have to take 16x plus 12x plus 10x. That is giving me 38x. So I have here 38x. Then I have here minus 15 plus 5. So that's like saying minus 10 being equal to 180. So this is going to be that 8x will be equals now to 190. That 8x when negative 10 crosses over. So what is the value of x? When you divide 190 divided by that 8, you get 5. The value of x is 5. The value of x is 5. Now the moment you have the value of x is 5, you are going to replace here to determine the largest and the smallest angles. 16 times x means 16 times 5. That is going to give me the angle here is 80. This side is 12 times x, which is 5, then minus 15. That's going, this angle here is 45. This angle here is 10x plus 5. So that is 10 times 5. That's 50 plus 5. This is going to be 55. So they want the difference between the largest angle. The largest angle I've seen here is 80 minus the smallest angle here, which is 45. So the difference here, when you take 80 minus 45, you get 35. The difference here is 35 degrees. So that makes choice B for boy the most correct answer. Choice B for boy will now become the most correct answer, dear learners. The most correct answer, dear learners. Allow I look at the next part. Allow I look at the next part, learners. Allow I look at the next part. That is, below is a pie chart. Below is a pie chart showing how Omoti spent 108,000. How much more did she spend on rent and clothing than school fees? First of all, this is 60. Obviously, this angle, because of this sine, this angle here is 90 degrees. To get the angle for fees, you are going to take 60 plus 90 for food plus 80 for rent. That is 230. When I subtract from 360, I get that as 130. So the angle here is 130 degrees. The angle here is 130 degrees. So if they're asking how much did she spend on rent and clothing than on fees? Rent and clothing. Remember, when you compare the angle degrees, when I talk about the degrees rent and clothing, this will be rent is 80 plus clothing, that is 60. So the total angle here is 140 degrees for rent and clothing. But for fees, the angle for fees here is 130 degrees. So how much more is here? 140 minus 130. So this is like saying 10 degrees. So that is the difference, even in the amount. Remember, they are saying Omonti spent this amount of his salary, meaning 360 degrees, which is the total number of degrees, is equals to 108,000. What about 10 degrees? You cross multiply. So this will be 10 times 108,000 divided by 360. Divided by 360. When you take 10 times 108,000, times 108,000, you divide that by 360. I'm getting 3,000. 3,000 as the answer. That is C for cat. We are done with section A. Allow I go very fast to section B of our discussion. In a certain polling station, the total number of registered voters is 9,789. Round of the number to 3 significant figures. The first significant figure is a 9. The second significant figure is 7. The next significant figure is 8. But looking at the number on its right, it's more than 5, so it will increase 1 by 1. So this is going to become 9. So that is going to be your answer to 3 significant figures. That's going to become your answer, dear learners. Question number B says, identify the prime number out of them. Identify the prime number out of them. Remember, when you talk about a prime number is a number that has only one factor, and the number here should be 7. That is the prime number in that case, 7. That is so because this one was a whole number, we'll have a 0 here. Remember also, a 0 at the end of the number may or may not be significant. It is there as a placeholder, but it is not significant. So the correct answer is 9,790. Don't forget that. Part B, this is the answer. Let's look at question number 22. In Tumaini School, a quarter of the learners in grade 8 like creative arts and sports. So those who like creative arts and sports are a quarter. 2/3 of the remainder like math. Those who like math is 2/3, 2/3 of the remainder. When a quarter like cars, the remainder is 3/4. The next question of our discussion. That is question number 23. Farmer A takes 7 days to dig a piece of land. Farmer B takes 5 days to dig the same piece of land. How long will it take both the farmers to do the work? So, in one day, I want to get the fraction done in one day. In one day, farmer A will be digging 1 over 7 plus farmer B will be digging 1 over 5. That is the fraction that these people can do in a single day. Then they are asking, how long will it take both farmers to do the work? So you say if one day is equal to 12 over 35, what about the total fraction 1? You cross multiply, this will be 1 times 1 over 35 over 12. Sorry, divided by 12 over 35. Divide this by 12 over, divided by 12 over 35. That is how you have to interpret it. That is how you have to interpret this question. Now, when we are here, what are we supposed to do? That is just like saying 1 divided by 12 over 35. We take 1 divided by 12 over 35. What do you get? This is like saying, it will take 11 over 12 days. That is the number of days it will take them. Like that. So, how long will it take? That is what you'll get. Or you can write your answer when you round off the nearest whole number. We can say roughly it will take these people 3 days to dig the piece of land. It will take them 3 days. Or 2 full days and 11 over 12 days. That's maybe some hours. Allow me, I go through question number 24 of our discussion. We are now getting to question number 24 of our discussion. And the point is, 3 business people, John, Elijah, and Hassan, contributed a total of 156,600 to start a retail business. The ratio of contribution of John to Elijah is 2:3, and that of John to Hassan is 4:5. How much did Hassan contribute? So they are saying John to Elijah is 2:3. John to Hassan is 4:3. Let's look at this case. We have John to Elijah. Their ratio of contribution is 2:3. When they say John to Hassan, that means I might have Hassan here. John now to Hassan on to the other side will be, the John is 4, the Hassan is 5. Like that. So I want first to get the ratio of their contributions. I'm going to multiply the lower one by 2, the upper one by 4 to make them equal. So this will be 10 ratio 8 ratio 12. That is the ratio of contribution of Hassan to John to Elijah. So they are asking, how much did Hassan contribute? First of all, we get the total ratio. Total ratio here will be given us 10 plus 8, that is 18, plus 12, that is going to be 30. So to get what Hassan contributed, you are going to take Hassan is 10 over the total ratio 30 times 156,600. This is going to give us, make sure to use your calculator in such computation. When you take 10 over 30 times 156,600, that is maybe, let me use my calculator for higher degree of accuracy. Dear learners. So that's going to give us 52,200. This is 52,200 shillings. Question number 25. The length of a table is 6.2 meters. Convert the length of the table to a fraction. You can see the 2 is recurring. That's why it has a dot at the top. The 2 is recurring. That's why you can see it having a dot at the top there. Now, you learned in grade 8 how to convert recurring decimals to fractions. You learned in grade 8 how to convert recurring decimals, learners, to fractions. And we are going to apply the same analogy here. We are going to apply, so we can say let R be equal to 6.2222. Then 10R will be 62.222. Then when you decide to take the 10R minus R, that will be 9R, being equal to 62.22 minus 6. That's going to give you 56. Then R will be given as 56 over 9. R will be given as 56 over 9. 56 over 9. 56 over 9. And when you have 56 over 9, what are you going to get? That is like saying 6 whole number 2 over 9 meters. 6 whole number 2 over 9 meters will become your solution. Remember, this paper is closer to how the KJSEA paper will be looking. So make sure you are so attentive and you are following well. Allow a look at question number next. We have a 0.084 times 1.32 times 3.5 divided by 2.87 times 0.056. Without using a math table or a calculator, you need to evaluate. So we are going to count the number of decimal places. Where we have many? In the numerator, we have 6. In the denominator, we have 5. So that means to remove it, I'm going to multiply by 1,000,000 on both sides. Also the denominator by 1,000,000. So this is now going to become 84 times 132 times 35. This will be all over. These 2 will remove these ones. These 3 will remove these ones, and I'll be left with 1. So this will be 287 times 56 times 10. Remember, you don't have to use a calculator here. So my approach will be, what I know is that I can now simplify this further. And I'm going to begin my simplification process by saying 7 into 35 is 5 times. 7 here is 8 times. 5 here is once. 5 here is twice. 2 here once. Maybe I can say 2 here. 42. 42. Then when I have 42 there, I can again say 2 into 8, 4. 2 here, 21. 2 there are found to be 21. Again, I have to look at it keenly. Learners. 4 into 4 once. 4 into 132, it is 33 times. 33 times. Then when we are here, you have also to bring the concept. Here you need to incorporate a lot. So I'm getting first, I have now I'm having 21 times 33 in the numerator being divided by the denominator. What am I left with? I'm left with the 287. I want to see if there is a number that can go to either. I think 7 goes here. 7 into 21 is 3 times. 7 here should be 41 times. 7 there should be 41 times. Then once you have it like that, I think that one you cannot simplify further. 3 times 3, this is now going to be 99 over 41. So we are going to do division using a long method. So 41 out, 99. This is 2 because of 82. When you subtract this, when you 99 minus 82, 99 minus 82, that is a difference of 17. So this is like saying 2 whole number 17 over 41. 2 whole number 17 over 41 learners. That is the possible solution. We have not used a calculator, remember. We have not used a calculator. We have not used a calculator there. So we proceed to the next part of our discussion. We proceed to the next part of our discussion. That is question number 27. The GCD of two numbers is 7. Their LCM is 14. If one of the numbers is, so their LCM is 140. If one of the numbers is 28, find the other number. The formula is when you want to get the other number, you simply take the LCM of the numbers given times the GCD divided by the one of the number given divided by the number given. So my LCM is 140 times the GCD of 7 divided by one of the numbers given is 28. So you know that when you are here now, if you read it like that, 7 here once, 7 here 4. Here once, here should be 35. So the correct answer here is 35 as one as the other number. You have there 35. Let's look at question number 28 of our discussion, learners. 5 men can erect 2 cottages in 21 days. How many more men working at the same rate will be needed to erect 4 cottages in the same period? This is a question on ratio and proportion. We are having the number of men, the number of cottages, and the duration in days. So you see, 5 men can erect 2 cottages in 21 days. How many more men working at the same rate will be needed to erect 4 cottages? Meaning that they are working at the same rate in the same period. Meaning when they say in the same period, meaning in 21 days. So this is just going to be now 21 over 21 times. If 5 men can erect 2 cottages, then how many men will be required to erect 4 cottages? More men. So this will be an increasing ratio. As a fraction, it will be 4 over 2. Then now you multiply this by 5. So this is going to be 10 men. When you multiply that, you are going to the number of men to be 10. Looking at the question, they are asking how many more men. To get the number of men, how many more men? You're going to take 10 minus 5. This is going to give you 5 more men. From the previous number of men, we are having 5 more men. Question number 29. That the grade 7 learners were given the linear inequality below to represent the solution on a number line. Show how they worked it out. We were given negative 4x plus 2. This should be less than or equal to 14. Collecting like terms, this is going to be negative 4x being less than or equal to, this one crosses over, will become 14 minus 2, that will be 12. I want to get the value of x. What do? I am going to divide through by negative 4. So I'll have negative 4x divided by negative 4. Remember, learners, when you are dividing through by a negative number, the inequality symbol changes its direction. So this will become now greater than or equal to 12 over 4. So this means that x is going now to be greater than or equal to negative 3. X will be greater than or equal to negative 3. How do you represent this in a number line? How do you represent this in number line, learners? Taking this to be my number line, I can have this one here is negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, maybe 2, like that. maybe -4, -5. You can see from it, x is from -3. That means that -3 is inclusive. But now, it should be towards the right because it should be greater than. So that's how you can represent your inequality. Question number 30. Question number 30 of our discussion. Remember, learners, that the question paper goes up to question number 40. So we are 10 more questions. We have 10 more questions to go. Now, represent the number of bags of beans, maize, and rice in form of matrices. How do you represent these numbers? Represent the number of bags. All these wrapped in brackets. So that's a matrix. Identify the order of matrix. How many rows are here? We have 3 rows. How many columns? We have 3 columns. So the order of a matrix is a 3 by 3 matrix. Kenta earns a salary of 2mx plus 4nx. Out of this salary, he uses 3m plus n to pay the rent. What fraction of his salary does he use to pay the rent? What fraction of our salary does he use to pay the rent? Remember, rent alone is taking 3m plus 6. So to get the fraction, you take what is using, that is 3m plus 6n. You divide by the total salary this person earns. That is 2mx plus 4nx. In that case, learners, you can factor out the common terms. In our numerator, what is our common factor? You can see in our numerator, because we need to simplify. Remember, our numerator, the common factor is 3. So we are going to have 3 into m plus 2n all over. The common factor in the denominator is 2x. We are going to have 2x out. Then you'll be having m plus 2n. Then when you have like that, learners, you can see what is inside the brackets are similar. Then they can cancel out. So this one and this one will cancel out. Once they cancel out, learners, what are we going to have? We are going now to have 3 over 2x. 3 over 2x. That is it. 3 over 2x. Sorry for that. 3 over 2x will be a simplified answer. 3. Sorry, my pen is misbehaving. We have this as 3 over 2x. 3 over 2x. That is the fraction. Allow I look at question number next. That is question number 32 of our discussion. That says that John is a grade 8 learner from Utumishi Junior School. He went round 3 times on the figure below. What was his total distance covered? I first need to get this distance from here to here. That is given by a half pi d. So this will be a half times the pi. If this is 7, this will also be 7. So the 22 over 7 times the diameter of 7. So that part is 11 meters. This part here, 11 meters. So let's get the perimeter of this figure. It will be 11 plus 3 plus 7 plus 3. So this is going to give you, when you have 11 plus 3 plus 7 plus 3, this is giving you 24 meters. Remember, they want also it in centimeters. So just going one round, you cover 24 meters. But this person, John, went 3 times. So the total distance covered will be 24. The total distance covered will be 24 multiplied by 3. This is 12, 6, 7. 72 meters. Converting it to centimeters, you multiply that by 100. So 72 times 100. This will be 7,200 centimeters as the distance covered. Allow I look at question number 33 of our discussion. Jane, a grade 8 learner, leaves her home to school at 6:20 a.m. She travels 75 kilometers at a speed of 30 kilometers per hour. At what time does she reach school? Let's get first the time taken on the road. To compute what we call the time taken, you do take the distance over speed. So the distance here is 75 kilometers. Divide by the speed, which is 30 kilometers per hour. This is going to be, when you take 75, you divide by 30. That's going to be 2 hours 30 minutes. That's going to be 2 hours 30 minutes. This is the time it will take her in the road. She leaves at this time. What time does it reach? Arrival time. Remember, we know that arrival time is equal to the departure time plus the time taken. So because we know that, now to compute her arrival time to school, you take the departure time 6:20 plus the time taken on the road, that is 2 hours 30 minutes. This is going to be 0.58. So she arrives to school at 8:50 a.m. She arrives to school at 8:50 a.m. Allow a look at question number next. That is 34. The length of an arc is 44 centimeters. Find the radius of the circle if the arc subtends an angle of 60 degrees at the center. This is again grade 8 work. If you have this as your sector, the length of the sector here is 44 and the angle subtended here is 60. Now you want to get this radius. You have to remember that length is given by theta over 360 2 pi r. So our length, which is 44, is given by theta, which is the angle subtended, that is 60 over 360 by 2 by pi. We've been told to use 22 over 7 by the radius, which you don't know, r. So this will be 44 being equal to, when you take 60 over 360 times 2 times 22 over 7, you are getting 22 over 21 r. 22 over 21 r. Then to get the value of pi by the reciprocal, r will be given now by 44 times the reciprocal, which is 21 over 22. So this is going to be 42 centimeters. 42 centimeters, dear learners. That is how you work out. That's how you work out that part. We are done. So the answer is 42 centimeters. Allow I look at question number 35 of our discussion without wasting time. We are getting to question number 35 of our discussion. A very, very beautiful question once again. I love how these questions are structured. Determine the volume of the figure below. Determine the volume of the figure below. Learners, how do you determine the volume? This is the volume of any solid in math is calculated by taking the cross-sectional area times the length. When you look at this figure, our cross-sectional area is the triangular part. So the volume, you should know, it's given by cross-sectional area times length. Our cross-sectional area here is the triangular part, which is given now by a half, times the base, which is 4, times the vertical height, which is 3. That will give you the cross-sectional area, times now the length of this triangular prism, that is 15. That is 15. So this will be a half times 4 times a half times 4 times 3, that is going to be 6. Now multiply that by 15. When you multiply 6 by 15, what are you going to get, dear learners? That is giving you 90 cubic meter. 90 cubic centimeters. 90 cubic centimeters. The volume of any solid, I repeat, is given by the cross-sectional area times the length. And the cross-sectional area is a figure that tends to appear twice and in the same way. A school paid Ouko 65,000 shillings after supplying a firewood. He deposited the money in a saving account for 8 months. The bank paid simple interest at the rate of 7% per annum. How much simple interest did he earn? Write your answer correct to 2DP. So, you know that. How do you compute simple interest, learners? Simple interest is given by principal times rate of 100 times the time t. So, this person was paid this amount and decided to deposit the amount there. So the money deposited to a bank or borrowed from a bank is what is called the principal. So this is going to be 65,000 times the rate. What is the rate? 7% per annum. So that is 7 over 100 times the time. What is the time here? The time is 8 months. Remember to change the months into years. So that will be 8. When you change to years, you divide it by 12. What are you going to compute? What are you going to compute in this case? It's very, very important for you to organize your work and be very sure with your working learners. Math is a very simple subject. So 65,000 times 7 over 100 multiplied by 8 over 12, that is giving us 3,033. 3,033.33. That is the simple interest. That is the simple interest. After getting that as the simple interest, the question says how much simple interest did he earn? 0.333. That 3 is recurring. They want how much simple interest did he earn? Correct to 2DP. So your answer is going now to be 3,033.33 because they want it only in 2DP. So that is how you respond to that question. Principal times rate of 100 times time. Remember to change your time to years by dividing it by 12. Question number 37. Grade 8 learners were learning about the surface area of solids. They came across a solid drawn below. Calculate its surface area. Because this is a solid, we can calculate the area of the semicircular part that is given by a half times pi, which is 22 over 7, times the diameter, which is 14. And what you get, you are going to multiply by 2 because we tend also to have another one here. We tend to have another semicircle there. So this is going to give you, when you take a half times 22 over 7 times 14. Sorry, not 14. What is the formula? It should be a half pi r squared. So 14 is the diameter. Therefore, the radius is 7 squared. So a half times 22 over 7 times 7 squared times 2. That's giving us 154. The area of the twos is 154 square centimeters. Then when you look at this top here, the top here is rectangular. Area of a rectangle is given by length times width. So the length is 35 times the width, which is 14. When you multiply that, learners, so that is going to be 35 times 14, that is 490. 490 square centimeters. Then we have the curved part, but it is not fully curved. So the curved part is given by, because it's a half, it is a half pi. Its area will be given by the curved surface area will be given by a half pi dh. So this will be a half times pi, which is 22 over 7, times the diameter, which is 14, that times the height, which is 35. When you multiply that using your calculator again, a half times pi, which is 22 over 7, 22 over 7, times diameter, which is 14, times the height, which is 35. That is 770. 770 square centimeters. 770 square centimeters. Then when you want to get the total surface area, what do? You simply add all this. You take 154 plus 490 plus 770. That is going to give you 1414. 1414 square centimeters. That is the surface area of this solid. Remember, it's a solid, meaning it's closed on both ends. So that's how you respond to that. Now we look at question number 38. That a table mat is in the shape of a regular polygon. The size of one interior angle is 120. Determine the size of each exterior angle. Remember that interior angle, this is something you learned in grade 7 and also in grade 8. Interior angle plus exterior should give you 180 degrees. So the interior angle is 120 plus the exterior angle E being equals to 180. So the exterior angle E is given by 180 minus 120, meaning our exterior angle here is now going to be 60 degrees. Then next you are being told to determine the number of sides, n. You learned that the number of sides of a polygon n is given by 360 divided by the exterior angle. That is the formula. So this is going to be 360 divided by 60. Therefore, this one is called, this is 6 sides. This is 6 sides. What is the name of the polygon? What is the name of a polygon that has 6 sides? The name of this polygon, a 6-sided polygon, is called hexagon. A 6-sided polygon, learners, is what we call a hexagon. The 6-sided polygon, we call it a hexagon. You can see how the question is. Look at question number 39. Using a ruler and a pair of compass only, construct a regular pentagon of sides 3.5 centimeters. I'm not going to do that because I don't have the construction tools, but you can reach out and we can construct it together. But I think it should be something very simple. Question number 40. A meteorological officer recorded the amount of rainfall in a certain region for 6 months as shown in the table below. You can see the number of months and the rainfall. Represent the information using a bar graph. This is using a bar graph, learners. So you can see January, we have a rainfall of 30. So first you need to understand what scale do you have in your y-axis. You can see in my y-axis, 10 small squares is equal to 50, meaning 1 small square is equal to 5. Okay, once I've known that, now I want 30. 30 should be 6 small squares here. And make sure you are drawing bars using a ruler. So this is how you draw it. So this is for January. That is 30. February, it is at 60. It is at 60. February, you can see it is at 60. 60 divided by 5. That means 12 small squares. February is here at 60. And that is 60 Then now you complete it. We are done with February. Let's look at the case for March. March, we are being told it should be at 90. March will be at 90. 90, when you take 90, you divide by 5, you are going to get 18 small squares. So March will be at 18 small squares. This is 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yes, like that. Sorry for that. This is for March. This is for March, learners. When you have it like this, when you have it like that, that is it. What about April? April, it is at 120. When you take 120, you divide by 5, that is will be 24. 24, meaning this is 5, 10, 15, 20, 24 is here. Like that. Then let's shade it to make it visible. So this is how you respond to that question. May, what do we have in May? 150. So May we have it full 150. You can see in May we have it at 150. May we have it at 150. May we have it at 150 there. So you can see this is for May. It is there at 150. Then June, it is at 90. 90 is for June, similar to March. 90 is here. This is 90, like that. We are done. Then the question, identify the months that had the same amount of rainfall. Even you can see from your bar graphs, you have March and June. So they say identify the months. So the months are March and June. March and June are the months. We are done with that part. We are done with that part, learners, and that marks the end of discussion of this paper. That marks the end of discussion of this paper. I hope you've enjoyed. You've learned something. Don't do it alone. Share it with your friends too. Tell them about STEM Smart Academy and what we have for them. Above all, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share our videos to your other friends and promote our channel also. Goodbye. See you next time, dear friends.